Lynn. I'm the co-founder for SAN, Academic Education Show, as well as I have with me here Gabriel Sophia. Hi,
Hi.
Gabriel.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So today's session, we're going to be running through a very exciting topic. Just step up. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Who? Me?
Yes.
Uh, well, the thing is, we came up with this idea a couple of days ago. Actually, I'm going to move away because my kids are playing table tennis in the background.
Okay.
Um, Basically, what we felt that trainers have to step up and say what they have to say instead of, I've always said there's a lot of trainers in Singapore have the habit of regurgitating information. So instead of regurgitating information, you got to step up and say, there's some disturbance there. Are you getting it?
Yeah, just 1 second. Okay, how about now?
Yeah, it has gone quite silent.
Yeah, okay, I think it was technical thing. Yeah, we can go on.
Yeah, so like I said, just step up was something that was created uh, basically between the few of us where we felt that trainers had to step up and say what they have to say instead of just simply regurgitating information. And it comes from a space of a little bit of honesty, some clarity, and all that good stuff. So basically, that's what I feel just step up is about. What about you? What's your take?
I just love the name, stepping up, and it's so much about stepping up in our life as a whole.
Yeah.
And to me, it's coming at a point when I'm feeling like, okay, now this has been happening, and what's next? And how do I step up in life? So I think it's very timely that this is being hosted by the two of us. And I want to thank you for being on the program with me. And I feel that there's going to be some fun, lots of fun. Where we're talking about two different kind of people coming together.
Yeah, we have Mars and Venus coming together for this program. It will be extremely.
Yes.
Even I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Yeah. And so what I was thinking is we should explore the topic on step up. We are starting this series with public speaking, from public speaking to professional speaking.
Yeah.
So what's your take about the two? I know we have been speaking a lot about this, but what's your take on this?
Well, public speaking anybody can do. It's like, the thing is, public speaking, as it says, is for the public. That means anybody who's got a simple message to say, if you want to talk about food or if you want to talk about cinemas, you want to talk about books, a book review, and you've got an audience in front of you, anything from 2 to 25 or even 25,000, it's public speaking. Now, professional speaking is something where you're engaged for a purpose. Your services are brought in for a purpose. So that means a bank or a school or a hospital, anybody can engage your services to talk about a particular topic. So you have to have some level of expertise either in the topic, or you must have the ability to go and research, gather the information, put it all together and present it in the most professional manner possible. So professional speaking for me is something where people engage. That means they pay you. I think the range is anything from the little bit we all know, the range is anything from $1,000 for a 1 hour talk to as high as $1.5 million for a 1 hour talk. So there's a huge range, but as long as you are paid to deliver a message, you are a professional speaker. Public speaking is really a completely different. Like I said, it's for anybody. It's for anybody, and you don't have to be paid. Most of the time, it's for free, and all that good stuff. That's my take.
Yeah. Actually, if you tell me, if you're asking me about public speaking, and I'm thinking about it as you speak, I actually remember my experiences going into public speaking first before I actually get to know about professional speaking.
Yeah.
And we know that there's this oldest school or organization, the biggest one in the world, that stands up for public speaking, and people get really excited and they get a lot of valuable information from that public speaking platform. And I have been able to be part of it and even create our own public speaking chapters for that. My experiences started from that, and when you tell me it's for free, yes, there's a whole bunch of people excitedly speaking, meeting up every month just to speak and feel good about speaking in front of crowds. And that, I feel, as public speaking is a good platform to start with. But when I
Yeah.
decided that I want to take to the next level, I still remember I was doing my second last so-called project, and I was this high and very excited about it, and I got all the applause, and I felt really good about it. And when I did my 10th one, I knew that okay, that's it. What's next? Because at that moment, we just know that okay, it's good to speak in front of crowds. It's nice to get claps, from people from different groups. But at the end of the day, what does the message mean to the masses? And is that is there more I can do rather than just speak in such small crowds? And with technology right now, you see what we are doing. It's going to take it to millions, and professional speaking actually paves that route. And I noticed a distinct difference, especially under the mentoring of Dr. Nambia, who's the founder for Thai Academia de Educación, the chief mentor, as well as Global Link International Institute. I find that this professional speaking arena is a whole new game where we can take it seriously as a career to move forward. And the specs that goes into professional speakers is completely different from what we have in the public speaking arena. I would love you to share about the one difference you feel is there within this two in terms of the communication skills.
The thing is, the one thing that is most important for me is as far as creating a profession, as far as the difference between public speaking and professional speaking is content. Yeah, the content is extremely crucial. That means in professional speaking, you must understand your audience extremely well, and you must create content. That means you can't just take something that you Google. Let's say you are supposed to talk about banking and finance. Let's say the topic, or even about leadership. A public speaker is a person who most probably reads a book or maybe leadership or something like that. He finds the nearest book in MPH or Times or something like that, and he reads the book and he delivers that. A professional speaker bothers to go into the organization, does his due diligence, does a lot of fact finding, gets to know the leadership, and during his presentation addresses the very issues that are bothering that organization or maybe even concerning that organization. And that is the role of a professional speaker. That's the difference. Public speaking is something anybody can do. I mean, to be very, very honest, if you ask me about leadership, I've read about 1,000 books and I can deliver whatever I want. But if you ask me to talk about leadership for, say, specifically Citibank, then I've got to talk to people, get information, talk to a whole bunch of HR managers, managing directors, even the leadership in Asia Pacific, and hear from them. Okay, what do you want to hear from me? What are the things do you feel that will help you? And then bring it together, put it as a little presentation, and you do it. So that is the most important thing. There's basically customized content. I know the word customized is overly used. I think sometimes it's also people forgot the meaning of customized, but there's no other word. You've got to tailor it or customize it to the audience, and that's basically the primary difference between a public speaker and a professional speaker.
Yeah. And as you say that too, you notice, and I want to be like very open about the two distinctive difference, and I would love you to share about it as well. Public speaking has become like a show. People tend to do it like with so much of drama in it,
Yeah.
and they have kind of abused it to some extent. There's a lot of these, and public speaking. When we talk about it, there's this kind of humor things that people bring into it, especially when they do all these what they call competitions and everything, and they abuse the whole platform.
Yeah.
And my take, I mean, first, I'm very personal about it because humor is such a sensitive thing. Something is the most difficult thing to make people laugh.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we do it well, fine. If not, we make a fool of ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to me, when I saw the public speaking arena, it was more like a show, a drama, where people just, and you nailed it, people just take out notes and they just pick up contents from the Google. I mean, they just Google it and then they put it up as a PowerPoint presentation, and looks like anybody can present that.
Yeah.
And when we do professional speaking, there is so much of heart in it, and because you're paid for it, some good bucks, we really have to deliver. If not, we lose the deal forever.
Yeah.
So that difference is uh, so distinct. And I feel actually for professional speakers especially, there's a lot of, when I say heart, it comes with authenticity. If we are not good at what we are doing, we will not even dare to even put a price tag for it.
Mm.
And I feel personally about it because people are abusing the industry at this moment with this confusion that they are having. That anyone who got, I mean, I'm getting personal right now. So what have you got to say about that?
Which one? The fact that the industry is becoming or people have been abusing the industry.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the thing is, people have been the moment things like Toastmasters. I think that the creation of Toastmasters is a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
I think everybody should have the ability to speak publicly, and that is something I agree with, and I applaud that. But I think people have to know the difference between public speaking and professional speaking.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have, and it's the way you define. I think if you want to define a public speaker, and if you want to say something along the lines of a public speaker has to be humorous, a public speaker has to be entertaining, that's fine. I've got no problems with that, you know. But if you say a professional speaker is a funny guy, that I have a problem with. You know, a professional speaker is first of all a professional. He is a master in his industry. So he should be respected for being a master in his industry. If he happens to have a fantastic sense of humor, it is an added incentive. It's an added incentive. If he's an entertainer, that's fantastic. But he should be respected for the professional that he is or she is. As a public speaker, yeah, I really don't care how the description goes, personally. Yeah, because I think everybody and anybody and everybody should be able to speak publicly. And if there are training programs out there for public speakers, I think I encourage that. Go for it. But know that there's a huge, and I mean huge. You know, I can't show you in gestures, but there's a huge difference in public speaking and professional speaking. And I can only share with you more when we get a chance to meet with you during our program in September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, in the module that we have created, we actually have this distinction between public speaking and professional speaking. And I know, you know, this is like a very deep word that many people may or may not understand when we just share with them on words in paper. And when we understand public speaking, we can pick it up through extrinsic platforms. We can find out, when we say extrinsic, very much like the way we move our hands or the tonality or the way people move the stage, stuff like that, or hold the mic, all the stuff. Actually, when you look at it, those are very extrinsic. I mean, we can always learn and practice that. One important factor that differentiates a public speaking person, you know, like in Singapore, we have our speaker's corner. Anybody can go and practice their public speaking.
Correct, yeah.
But ultimately, it's the professional speakers come with these intrinsic values that we have identified, and we would love people to embark on those skills. And I would love to speak about that in a short while, maybe not all of them today, maybe we'll touch on one, and then in future, you know, in our series, we can touch on more. But intrinsic values are so important, and to me, these become the foundation for anyone to even command a value for what we are doing. And you nailed it earlier on too when you said that it's a master in a particular trade. So when we are masters in whatever that we specialize in, like for example, there are people who specialize in, like your program, No Guts, No Glory, right? You take on people to a lot of very high energy stuff at the same time, getting them to unleash their potentials and get them going, especially in your coaching programs, you really break them down and go to the core, like wake up the ideas, right?
Yeah.
All of this is your area of specialization, and then there's the other guys who may be a very strict IT professional who's trying to, you know, who is professionally paid to share their knowledge. So when they do it, it's from their area of specialization. At the same time, if you're just going to use a PowerPoint to do that, then it fails. It defeats the purpose. And any questions that come out naturally from the audience, they will not be able to handle. And this is the difference we've seen in public speaking. People who just do it on paper, and then the professionals are the ones who know in depth the work.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also these 8 essentials that we share in our modules, they cover that in a very, very deep manner that
Mm,
naturally it becomes part of us when we are doing the work that we do. So if you
yeah.
ask me, like I specialize in breaking mindsets to think bigger.
Mm,
Sometimes people think that it's about giving them hope, but
yeah.
ultimately, we don't buy into what we are speaking about, then
Mm,
it doesn't mean anything to the person who's listening.
mm.
So there are actually people who have been very, very happy knowing that their potential is actually that much, and we just break the barriers for them
Yeah.
when they come to our programs and they say that, hey, I'm worth that much, yet I'm only doing this much. So what's my next step? So if people can really get onto the momentum of understanding that professionals who speak professionally go in depth in the values that they bring to the table, they actually can command more in the industry,
Oh, yeah,
especially.
definitely, definitely. I can give you a simple example. I was at a talk about 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. I was at a business talk where there were a whole bunch of speakers. There were about a whole bunch of speakers, and there was a particular question posted towards this man. This gentleman is a very entertaining speaker. Entertaining speaker. He was quite young. He was about 30 years old. He keeps calling himself a public speaker. I always call myself a coach, but he calls himself
Yeah.
a public speaker, and he was talking about entrepreneurship, and he was talking about the challenges of entrepreneurship. And one gentleman posted this question. He asked this gentleman a question. He said he had a client who was giving him $1 million contract. And because of a lack of service, because he did not service him well enough, he lost that contract.
Wow.
And this gentleman's question to the speaker on stage was, "How do I get this client back?"
Okay.
Uh, it was a very, very interesting question, and I really wanted to see how this gentleman was going to answer this question. And he goes on to say, now the stage is back to the speaker. The speaker says something like this: just go, take him out for dinner a few times. Just say that I'm sorry for not servicing you, and most probably you'll get your contract back. And
Whoa.
uh, and
So tell me
about
about.
2 hours later, I got a chance to go up on stage, and I was given a chance to address the same question. And
Okay.
personally, I've been in the position where I have actually gotten $1 million contract and have refused to service that person, or did not service the person well enough, and have lost the contract. Personally, it has happened to me before.
Wow.
And until today, I haven't gotten back that contract.
Mm.
Until today, I make my phone calls, I send my Christmas cards, I send my flowers, I make my attempt to make contact and take them out for dinners and lunches. And that is the reality. The reality is when somebody gives you a contract that is that substantial and you don't service them, they will get upset. And if you want
Yep.
that contract back, you do anything and everything within your possibilities to do your, what you call, trying to get your client back. But it is really now the ball is in their court. That is reality. The
Yep.
ball is in their court. But to make it sound as if you just say sorry and you can buy them a lunch and you might get the contract back, I think is irresponsible delivery of a very, very crucial message.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's what really upsets me sometimes, in the sense that know your information. And sometimes this kind of information you know from by reading books or by attending courses. And sometimes you get this information because of the experience you've had personally.
Yeah.
And if that information, I'm sorry, it got a little bit dark. If that
Yeah.
information is
Everyone.
if that information is something you don't know and you can't find in a book, call someone.
Yeah.
Call
And
someone
say
if you.
you don't know. It's okay to say you don't know, and let me
Yeah,
find
yeah.
out.
Yes, absolutely. If you really don't know, you are stumped by that question, just put up your hand and say, "I'm sorry, I'm not used to this sort of a question," or "I'm sorry, I haven't had that personal experience and I don't know the answer."
Yeah.
Or even open it up to the audience. Does anybody else have this experience within the audience? I'm sure if there are
Well,
1,000 people there, one person may have had an experience that is similar. So I think,
actually, that
yeah,
would be a channel. That is one of the skills that professionals have
yeah,
naturally, throwing the questions back to the audience.
yes,
And I think
absolutely,
and that gives people the reality that not everybody knows everything. And
yeah,
how about
yeah.
actually coming up with an answer, and possibly, like what you said, there may be people who have that experience, and that could be a know-how that everybody else can benefit from.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I noticed the difference between public speaking and professional speaking is public speaking, they like to inform the audience. They have some
Yeah,
information and they inform the audience. In
yeah,
professional
and they
speak,
are supposed to be seen seen as someone who knows everything.
Yeah, yeah. In
Like
professional
I
speaking,
just,
I think they engage the audience extremely well,
yeah,
and there's a lot of interaction happening in professional on the professional stage. So that is
yeah,
one of the
and doesn't
primary
have to
differences you
come.
can see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Actually, one of the things that you have been good at, and I would love you to share this, like in your experience, especially working with the people from the West,
Mm.
and the stories you share always amuse audiences,
Mm.
and how Asians value themselves when it comes to communicating with the West, be it as a professional in the industry, how they
Mm.
are viewing themselves, and whether is it really true the fact that they have to look up to the West in a certain way, even as professionals, they seem to miss the mark that that it's not something so different.
Well, the truth is, even in the U.S. or any part of the West, there are speakers who have only an audience size of 5 to 10 people.
Mm.
It happens there as well. So it is not exclusive to this part of the world. One of the things that is very, very well established in the West is that the agent industry. There are many agents out there. And the
Mm.
moment there's a particular talent, if there's a talented individual out there, a good speaker out there, a good trainer out there, they immediately engage an agent. An agent advises them to take their career in a particular direction, how to release the books at the time, how do you release the studies at a particular time. So it is all well advised. So that is one thing that I really loved about the West, because there was somebody to guide you.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. In Asia, we don't have that, and we also don't believe in working together. That is one of the primary differences. And the way we value ourselves, yes, in Singapore, sorry, yeah, maybe instead of saying in Asia, I'll say in Singapore. In
Okay.
Singapore, I don't believe trainers value themselves. I've seen it personally. I think we all have seen this personally. Uh, Singapore is one of the very few countries where trainers go at the rate of $500 to $1,000 a day, where these are figures that are unheard of in the West. Even
Yeah.
some of the most amateur trainers will be going at $2,500 to $3,000 a day. So
Yeah.
how do you value yourself, and how do you add that particular price tag to your profession is something I think we lack. We lack education in it. We don't know how to get that information. So I don't know whether we got time for me to share that one experience where I quoted for a particular project. I was extremely proud to quote for that project. It was a one-day leadership and team building program in San Francisco, and I quoted 25,000 US dollars for it, and I thought I was going to get it because I knew everybody, and everybody was very pleased with my work and all that good stuff. Uh, Among the 100 over people who submitted their proposals, there were 3 people who were shortlisted. It was myself, Jack Canfield, and Daniel Hackavy. And I charged 25,000 for a day. Jack Canfield charged 70,000 over dollars, and Daniel Hackavy charged in the range of 170 or $180,000. And at the end of the day, okay, we won't say who got it, but one of them got it. And the response I got, the feedback I got from the program was it was average. It was an average outing. I can't believe. I think I'm going to get sued for saying this on 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 air. But anyway, doesn't matter. But the thing is, it was an average experience. And when the people came back from San Francisco, we had dinner together, and they were telling me that they felt that I was better, but my price tag, because it was the lowest among all of them, it made them feel as if I wasn't good enough.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was something I learned. Is like I thought I would get the deal because I quoted 25,000, but at the same time, they felt that I shouldn't get the deal because I did not value myself at that level. So that was a wake up call
Yeah.
for me, and now
What
I'm
you are
figuring out
saying,
ways. Yeah.
you are saying this for Singapore. I have to tell you that based on our experience traveling in this part of the world and
Mm.
speaking to trainers and working with a lot of them in Malaysia, in India, and all these countries around,
Yeah.
we actually have a similar situation. The problem about valuing individuals, as in the
Mm.
self-worth. In fact, our programs cover that. And like what you said, we have testimonies and we have friends and mentors who work with us who actually have seen the stage where Tony Robbins took himself from where he is right, I mean where he was, living in a car, charging $25,000 a day for a corporate program to what he is charging right now, for $1 million.
Yeah.
What happens in the process and how does one value themselves is very intrinsic. That's why we feel we need to have this message out. How does anyone actually value themselves? Initially, there was one people like to gauge it. So will they pay me for this? Will they pay me for this? Keep pushing your mark. That may or may not work, but ultimately it's actually a lot to do with the self-worth that one values themselves. And this is an exercise actually we cover in our program, especially even if they are coming in as like individuals who do it as a professional in the corporate world, or as a trainer, or even an entrepreneur.
Right.
People attending our courses, normally the feedback they get is, hey, you mean I've charged myself so less, I've undercut myself, let me reprice my programs, or my work. And this is something, it's very intrinsic. And, and I know, and like what you said, it's very much an Asian thing, and it comes from our belief system that we can't, that goes back to our forefathers. There's a lot of belief system around us for deservability.
Yeah. But having said that, I think even the Westerners who come to Singapore start thinking like that, because I actually heard from a friend of mine who's from the US. She's a trainer in Singapore right now. And when she found out, because she charges $1,500 a day, $1,500 per day. And when she found out my fees, she realized, she was telling me that nobody in Asia is worth that much. Yeah. So,
it's actually a really sad thing, like what you're saying, people charging 500, 1,000. I won't forget the time when we quoted for a GBIZ project, and it was for a professional speaker, like a presentation skills program, I think it was a 2-day program. And the person who got it just charged $2,000, and she comes from 14 years of experience doing the program. 14 years of experience, and she's charging $2,000 a day. I'm like, this is like they're really killing the market. I mean, we're killing the industry. If everybody, we really need to do this work, Gab, because it's like putting a reality check on the industry where there are people willing to pay. Is the trainers and professionals cutting themselves off from the whole platform, like killing ourselves, undercutting the prices, because there's no proper guidelines to this.
Yeah, correct. And the thing is, that's what we have to. See, the thing is, the problem right now is, okay, I mean, like I said, because the program is called Professional Speaking Program, right? Yeah. There's a lack of professionalism in the industry. That is really the problem. And a lot of people are under the impression that professionalism comes from the number of certifications they must have. No. What we are saying is, in our program is, get professional, understand how the industry works. Everything else can be learned. Everything else you can learn, because you're going to be alive for a good 50 years anyway. You got time to learn, but understand the industry, learn the industry, figure out how to understand the economics behind the industry, understand the character behind the industry. What are people looking for? What do you have to put as an individual? If you're coming up and saying something along the lines of, okay, I'm a professional trainer and I'm going to be talking about health. What are the audience looking for? What kind of information do you give? How do you position yourself? What do you have to prepare? What are the details you need? What do they need? How do you charge? How do you leverage? And how do you move up step by step? And almost even create a career plan for 5 years. I think that's the kind of professionalism that is lacking.
Yeah, and like what you said, for example, if we're talking about health, we're actually looking at health as in like there's a niche to the health even, because the health is such a broad perspective.
Yeah,
so you
correct.
have to specialize as a professional to really niche down to what aspect of health are you going to cover?
Yes,
is it medical? Is it holistic? Is it going to be for adults? Is it for children? Is it the body? Is it the mind health? Or whatever, And that niche is the one that's going to create the income for the person who's going to go professional with it.
Yeah, I think that's another problem in the sense that a lot of speakers, when you go into their websites today, they talk about 100 different topics. And they feel that it's good. I want to be.
This joke about from India, I mean, I have to be very open. What new training? I'm a soft skill trainer. That's what they would say. And soft skill is what? I
Yeah,
mean, that's a
it's
20th,
too big a word.
19th century,
Yeah, terminology in the first
19th
place.
century, yeah, it's like 19th century way of speaking. I mean, soft skill is what? What is soft skill,
Yeah,
by the way, Jim?
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know anymore. Soft skills are even, I think, even answering phone calls is become soft
Yep.
skill right now. So I think the first of all that word soft skill has to be destroyed because that is
Yeah.
a very very important skill actually. Whatever they're talking about, how do you answer a phone call? Even I think is hold on, soft skill. Is communication considered soft skill? Is that how they communicate?
Yes. Yeah.
You see, communication is a
This
major
is
major
the
major skill.
So
Yeah.
this is what they say. I mean, I'm being very personal right now. I mean, because in India, they
Mm,
have this soft skill trainer who can do training for anything that you want in soft skills. Would
mm,
you engage them, Gabe?
mm. Sorry, what have I engaged them, Gabe? Will I engage them? Is it?
Would you engage them? If
No,
they are telling you they'll engage in everything, they'll do
absolutely
every
not.
soft skill training.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because the thing is, for me, the first thing that I look out for when I engage a trainer is not exactly whether the person is involved in my industry or not. I don't look for that. But what I look for is the person, what do you call, intelligent enough and willing enough to get to know my industry. If he does
Yeah.
that, I'll feel at peace because most of the time we talk about it in training is you in speaking and training is you need the third eye perspective. So if you
Yeah.
want somebody to come and help you in the banking industry, bringing in another banker may not be the best idea. You need a third eye perspective. But what we look out for in how we want to engage a professional is, does this guy have the ability to understand my industry, and is this guy willing enough to do it? That's what I really really try to look
Yeah.
out for.
I think that is a good. I think we covered quite a lot of stuff today. I would love
Yeah,
to take this
fantastic.
opportunity. So very quickly, we talked about intrinsic value. So I'm sure a lot of people will be wondering, what is this intrinsic value?
Mm,
So in our module, right, we have created this segment where we cover the eight essentials, which is of speaking,
yep.
SPEAKING.
Mm,
So speaking stands are the eight essentials we put as the intrinsic values that people can take on. So S being spontaneity, P for personalization, E for entertainment, A for appeal, K for knowledge, I for internalization, N for naturalization, and G for gratification. That's a mouthful of words there.
yeah.
But these values, values and and stuff that people can become, learn and make it there.
Mm,
It's, what I would say is to soak in the values.
right.
And
Right.
these values are the ones that can really expose you and also bring you up, particularly
Mm,
shine in the way that we are doing our speaking, be it in corporate world. I mean, in day-to-day conversation, people need spontaneity. Like just take that word for example. To be able to be speaking professionally, S stands for spontaneity. We need spontaneity in the way we communicate. Right now, yes, did we do any rehearsal for what we're going to speak today?
no, no, we never rehearse anything.
Yeah, so this is what's happening. So spontaneity needs to be there for us to be naturally flowing, and in any conversation, be it one-to-one presentation with your clients, be it with your boss or whoever, we need to have this in our toolbox, in our pocket, so that we can
Right.
use it whenever we need it. And such skills are the ones that we will, values are the ones that we will be sharing with the participants who are coming for our program in September.
Yeah.
And Kate, tell us more. What else do you think they will be expecting?
What I believe, the thing is, like we said, the both of us are very very different trainers, and that by itself is a major attraction. And why they should come is because they will see two trainers who are completely from two different planets.
Yeah,
Yeah. For me, for the expectation out of you is definitely based on the eight values that you just talked about. I believe that you will be taking them through one by one.
yeah,
For me, what I would prefer to do is you have to look at me as a running coach, as your athletics coach, or as your gym coach. Where are you right
yeah,
now, and where do you want to go? So we will evaluate you the way you are right now, and then we will figure out a game plan as to where we want to go. That's the way we should view me, and that's the way you should view Aziza. If me and Aziza are smiling and drinking coffee all the time, we're not doing a good job. Most of the time, we'll be very, very hard on each other, actually. And that is one of the things that you have to look out for. Because she's teaching all the values, I'm going to be the coach, and we are going to push ourselves really, really hard to get you all to the next level. It's going to be a trip. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a picnic. I think 2 days is really, really not enough. We were talking about making it longer, but 2 days is a fantastic start. So, yeah, so we look forward to seeing you all. Please come up ready to step up. Really, I mean, when we say step up, it's really, don't look at it as one step, yeah? If it is just one step, we will never use the word step up. It is a major leap. You've got to jump from one to another. It is the kind of step up that you may not have heard of.
Ever done before in your life.
Yeah. Okay, with that, I think we will say our bye-bye, and maybe we'll come back and talk again and post something up.
Yes, and before we go, just very quickly, we are actually having our ebook, ebook. It's called Professional Speaking Skills. It's a tip on how to speak professionally. We explain a little bit more on the speaking essentials. Reading about it is good. Then you will know how to apply it. When you come to our program, you will have more in-depth knowledge about it. It's available on Amazon under corporate presentations, or you can get it from our website at just step up in the EDH website. Maybe I'll repost the link here so that you can take a look at it. It's only USD 4.99 USD, right? So we look forward to meeting all of you soon in September, and that's Gabe with his children.
Yes. Yeah, we are going to play table tennis as soon as we are done over here.
Enjoy yourself.
Okay, bye-bye. Have a good one. Bye-bye.